it's Lisa. I got a full tank and the Queen's in the back, so hop on in and let's hit the road.
A roadside attraction is a feature along the side of the road meant to attract tourists. In general, these are places one might stop on the way to somewhere rather than actually being a destination. They are frequently advertised with billboards. The modern tourist-oriented highway attraction originated as a U.S. phenomenon in the 1940s to 60s. When long-distance road travel became practical and popular in the 1920s, entrepreneurs began building restaurants, motels, coffee shops, cafes, and more unusual businesses to attract travelers. Many of the buildings were attractions in themselves, in the form of novelty architecture depicting common objects of enormous size, typically relating to the items sold there. Some other types of roadside attractions include monuments and fictionalized paranormal illusionary amusements. With the construction of the interstate highway system in the 1950s, many roadside attractions were bypassed and quickly went out of business. Some remained attractive enough to divert travelers from the interstate for a brief respite and thus remained in business. These attractions have always fascinated me, so I always look for them whenever I travel. Father of rock and roll, Alan Freed. Known as the father of rock and roll, Cleveland's own Alan Freed was the disc jockey credited with first using the term to describe the emerging music of the early 1950s. As a local radio star and concert promoter, he helped introduce R&B music to the masses during a time of segregation, but the payola scandals of the 1950s would end his musical career, heading Freed into a spiral of alcoholism. He died from cirrhosis of the liver at the young age of 43. Freed's influence expanded beyond his Cleveland roots, bringing him at the height of his career to the New York powerhouse station WINS. He featured the music of Bill Haley and the Comets, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, and Jerry Lee Lewis, catapulting his show to a national audience through syndication. He ended up at the wrong end of the notorious pay-for-play scandal known as payola, where promoters were accepting bribes to play particular records, a charge he denied, but he couldn't outrun his damaged reputation. Freed was cremated and initially interred in the Westchester County, New York mausoleum. His remains were then moved to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where they stayed for 12 years, and then to his final resting place at Cleveland Lakeview Cemetery. His new contemporary gravestone tells his story, illustrated by a big old jukebox on the back, a design suggested by musician and Freed fan Stephen Van Zandt. Alan Freed's ashes were reinterred on May 7, 2016, and Van Zandt spoke at the ceremony. Harvey Pekar, Lakeview Cemetery. Harvey Pekar was an American underground comic book writer, music critic, and media personality best known for his autobiographical American Splendor comic series. In 2003, this series inspired a well-received film adaptation of the same name. Frequently described as the poet laureate of Cleveland, Pekar helped change the appreciation for and perceptions of the graphic novel, the drawn memoir, the autobiographical comic narrative. Pekar described his work as autobiography written as it is happening. The theme is about staying alive, getting a job, finding a mate, having a place to live, finding a creative outlet. Life is a war of attrition. You have to stay active on all fronts. It's one thing after another. I've tried to control a chaotic universe and it's just a losing battle. But I can't let go. I've tried, but I can't. His headstone features one of his quotations as an epitaph. Life is about women, gigs, and being creative. Next time you're in Lakeview, say hey to Harvey and leave him a pen. Haserot Angel, Lakeview Cemetery, Cleveland, Ohio. Sculpted by Herman Matson in 1924, its official name is the Angel of Death Victorious, or the Haserot Angel. You probably have seen the image of this angel more than once. This is the Black Angel Haserot, and here is her story. A black statue of an angel stands in Lakeview Cemetery in Cleveland. It stands over the graves of 3 people, a woman, her husband, and their son. The statue has a rather strange look. Most of the angels in the cemetery usually stand with their heads high, raised, and their wings spread, symbolically striving for paradise. However, the wings of the black angel are not straightened, and she looks to the ground. Also, the black angel has a very grim expression, with cold, strange eyes and empty eyelids. Many people are nervous, according to the visitors to the cemetery. They feel uncomfortable in the immediate vicinity of the statue. Besides, they claim that they thought the statue was following them. Unfortunately, there are a few unpleasant perceptions associated with this angel. First, if you touch or look directly into the eyes of the black angel, a mysterious, incurable disease will strike you. Second, according to legend, any girl kissed in the moonlight at the foot of the statue will die within 6 months. Also, if you touch the statue of an angel on Halloween, then death will overtake you within 7 years. Moreover, if you kiss the angel on the lips, your heart will stop beating and you will die instantly, and anyone who attempts to destroy the statue will also be instantly killed. In addition, there are many stories about people who touched the angel and subsequently died a terrible death. So, for example, there is a story about 4 guys who decided to check the truth of the legend. One night, they entered the cemetery and in turn began to urinate on the monument, while they laughed and joked. In the evening of the same day, on the way home from the cemetery, they got in a terrible accident. All 4 of them died instantly. Nevertheless, locals and visitors to the cemetery often come to the statue at night to test their courage. Students are urging each other, offering to test fate and kiss and touch the statue. Considered one of the most visited places in Ohio, the story and the curse of the Black Angel become a legend passed on from mouth to mouth till this day. Point of beginning, near East Liverpool, Ohio. The beginning point of the U.S. Public Land Survey is the point from which the United States in 1786 began the formal survey of the lands known then as the Northwest Territory, now making up all or part of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin. The survey is claimed to be the first major cadastral survey undertaken by any nation. The point now lies underwater on the state line between Ohio and Pennsylvania. Because it is submerged, the monument commemorating the point is adjacent to the nearest roadway and located on the state line between East Liverpool, Ohio and Ohioville, Pennsylvania. The area around the marker was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1965. The monument commemorating the survey point is located on the north side of the Ohio River, on the south side of the road designated Ohio State Route 39 and Pennsylvania Route 68 to the east. It is near the three-way intersection of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and the northern tip of West Virginia. It is inscribed 1,112 feet south of this spot was the point of beginning for surveying the public lands of the United States. The Public Land Survey System of the United States was established by congressional legislation in 1785 in order to provide an orderly mechanism for opening the Northwest Territory for settlement. The ordinance directed the geographer of the United States, Thomas Hutchins, to survey an initial east-west baseline. Hutchins began in 1786 using as his starting point a stake on the north bank of the Ohio River, placed by a 1785 survey team from the states of Virginia and Pennsylvania to fix their common north-south boundary, now the boundary between Pennsylvania and the northern tip of West Virginia. Hutchins's work, completed in 1787, established the 7 ranges, with a baseline about 45 miles long. This survey is believed to be the first mathematically designed system and nationally conducted cadastral survey in any modern country. The monument was placed in 1881 and is maintained by the East Liverpool Historical Society. It was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1965 and designated as a National Historic Civil Engineering Landmark in 1985. Doughboy, City Hall, corner Darrow Road and Graham Road, Stow, Ohio. Many towns have one, but Stow's has an interesting beginning. The Akron Beacon Journal reports that the statue was a prop used by conmen trying to sell World War I veterans shares in a fraudulent oil company. After the men were sent to the Ohio Penitentiary, Jerry Ricketts, a former county deputy sheriff, installed the statue in his yard. After being left at the American Legion, the statue ended up at the Stow City Hall. Before the high school was moved, students used to dress him up in hats and scarves for winter. They would even give him a cigarette. Carved Indian at Adell Durbin, 3300 Darrow Road, Stow, Ohio. This statue is unnamed. Joe Fronapfel has carved this and many more Indian statues in the area. You can travel and see these amazing statues in a few hours following a circle outside the southern part of Cuyahoga Valley National Park. Script Cleveland, Cleveland, Ohio. There are 6 Script Cleveland signs scattered around the city, and they have become the iconic symbol of the city for tourists and citizens alike. Fashioned out of aluminum and measuring 16 feet long, the sign includes uplighting to illuminate them at night. The Cleveland Script sign logo was hand-drawn by Brandon Sanders, an associate creative director of MMGY Global, based in Kansas City, Missouri. I feature this attraction in my video on Cleveland. Please see my playlist for that and my other videos. Umbrella Alley, 204 East Main Street, Louisville, Ohio. Umbrella Alley is the newest art attraction in downtown Louisville, Ohio. As part of the process of rejuvenating the downtown and creating an artistic and welcoming location, nearly 200 umbrellas were installed. Umbrella Alley is a favorite photo op destination. Artist Jeffrey Kern motivates his team to fill the alley with artwork which can change at any time, which makes this a destination that can be visited time and time again. Chief Leatherlips Monument, 7377 Riverside Drive, Dublin, Ohio. This sculpture is made out of limestone slabs mortared together. Visitors can easily stand on the head of the 12-foot Great Wyandotte Indian chief. Chief Leatherlips, according to the plaque, was a great friend to both Indian and white man alike. The settlers called him Leatherlips because he never broke a promise. The work was commissioned by Boston artist Ralph Helmick and dedicated in Scioto Park on July 1, 1990. Chief Leatherlips is believed to have located his last hunting camp at this spot, where he was executed in 1810 by order of his brother by tomahawk for being too friendly to the whites, and for witchcraft. That's the second installment of Roadside Attractions. As we travel around, we'll keep looking for new and exciting roadside attractions. This is Lisa. Hope to see you again as we hit the road with Lisa. Please like and share and hit the bell to be notified when I post our next adventure.